episode of Why So Sidious the Nerd Podcast. Joining me today are my co-hosts David Cochran and Jeremy Darr, and we are bringing you another edition of Week in Geek, breaking down all the latest news and rumors in the nerd world. But don't forget to follow us on social media at Why So Sidious Pod on Instagram, X, and YouTube, and of course, RIP TikTok, my favorite social media app. I don't know why they're taking it away. They don't want, they want USA wants control of the information and the money. They don't want that going anywhere else. So sad to see it go, but we were at 561 subscribers on YouTube, pushing for that 1,000. Let's get a plaque on the background here.
Hey.
So yeah, and we're live on YouTube right now if you want to watch this or listen to this even earlier. Let's get into the news. I think the biggest news of the last couple weeks, it's been a while since we've done one, is Christopher Nolan's next movie will be The Odyssey. So this has a $250 million budget, they're saying. Of course, the cast is Tom Holland, Zendaya, Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Charlize Theron. And of course, The Odyssey is an adaptation of Homer's classic Greek epic poem, which tells the story of Odysseus' 10-year journey home after the Trojan War. And he is the king of Ithaca. He faces many perils on his journey, including shipwrecks and encounters with mythical creatures like Cyclops and Sirens. Meanwhile, back home, Odysseus' wife, Penelope, and their son, Telemachus, must deal with suitors vying for Penelope's hand in marriage. So, obviously, it's one of the most classic, well-known stories in the history of mankind, and Nolan is creating this. So, what do you guys think about it?
Dude, I've always wanted to read The Odyssey, but seeing it, and I never did, but seeing it in theaters directed by Christopher Nolan, that sounds pretty cool. So I'm actually really excited about this. I want to see what that classic story is about Homer and the Odyssey. So that'll be one hell of a way to digest it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be huge. Yeah, I read the Odyssey in high school. And it's funny, if you just say, hey, give me the Odyssey plot, I'd probably stumble around for a bit. But as soon as you start talking about Odysseus coming home from the Trojan War and his wife getting the suitors and everything, then the entire story just like clicks back into my brain. And I remember it from high school. So it's obviously a solid story. And if you got a storyteller like Christopher Nolan, and that cast is just stupid, dude. Like, I mean, it's great, but good Lord, the guy just stacks insanely talented people. He's obviously worked with Matt Damon already. He was in Oppenheimer. He's worked with Anne Hathaway in Interstellar, Robert Pattinson in Tenet. I mean, he's worked with a lot of these people already. But this is just going to be... Oh, Anne Hathaway was in Dark Knight Rises too. Yeah. So there's a lot of chemistry there already. I don't see how this is not going to be like a Best Picture nomination. Right. I feel like that has to be the expectations here, and yet another crazy addition to his filmography there. But what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm stoked. I'm very excited for this. And who do you guys think will be Odysseus? You think it's Robert Pattinson? Because I don't see Tom Holland. Maybe Tom Holland, but not Matt Damon.
It could be Tom Holland.
I think... Is he really going to do Tom Holland as Odysseus and Zendaya as Penelope? Are we really about to get Tom and Zendaya as husband and wife there? I feel like that might be the case.
I guess heroes were pretty young back then too. You know,
yeah, he was young, I think.
I'm pretty sure he was very young, yeah.
Dude, I'm just excited to see how he's the master of like the grand scale of things, sci-fi and stuff. Give him Greek mythology. What are we about to see? It's going to be really cool.
I got my. I think it's going to be Pattinson. Odysseus was 30 to 40 during the events of the Odyssey. I think it's going to be Pattinson. I think Tom Holland's going to be his son, who is back home with his wife, and I think his wife, maybe Anne Hathaway.
Yeah,
I think we might get Anne Hathaway. It'd be weird seeing Robert Pattinson. It'd be weird seeing Zendaya having a son that was played by Tom Holland. So I don't think I see her being Penelope.
And Tom Holland can play a character from like 16 to 32. You know, he could still play a child the way he looks.
He can play. And I think Odysseus' son at that point was fairly
teenager.
Old. Yeah, exactly. So I think Pattinson will be Odysseus, but. Telemachus was between 20 and 21 years old during that story, so Tom Holland can easily play that. Zendaya might be a siren, honestly, but there's a lot of options here, but Pattinson should kill it.
And those memes are going around, and it's like them looking up at the monsters because Nolan refuses to use CGI. So there's like real monsters in the movie.
Damn.
So yeah, we're excited for this. I think it's 2026, correct?
Yeah.
I believe.
It's not on the list we were just looking
Yeah.
at.
I'm pretty sure it's 2026.
Yeah, I didn't.
No,
see
no,
any
it's always
date,
Nolan and
but-
Dune Part 2 and Avengers Doomsday or whatever else comes out. It's the big year for those three.
Yeah. Yes, summer 2026, starting production in 2025 at some point.
And I mean, that's probably going to get the Batman 2 pushed back again if, you know, we need to get that movie, or Robert Pattinson just needs to do a little back to back. We'll see how that goes, but
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, that's coming after, huh?
At
Wait, no,
this
they're
point,
just
yeah.
end
starting,
of 2026.
aren't they just starting to film the Batman 2?
No, remember the script wasn't even done yet.
Yeah, but I thought they were going to start filming really soon. We'll see.
Most recently, December 27th, Variety has it pushed back until 2027. October 1st, 2027. So not even early 2027. We are looking at the end of 2027 for Batman 2 now.
Oh, yeah. Good
Yikes.
5 years in between the movies.
That sucks, bro. We have 2.5 more years.
Who even knows we'll be alive?
2.5 more years? Bro, that's just crazy. Anyway.
He's
happy
going to be
thoughts.
like Ben Affleck's age by the time Batman 3 comes out.
Freaking
Yeah, Penguin
The
season
Dark
3 by
Knight
then.
Returns. Seriously.
All right, let's move on to the other big piece of news. And we have a Baylan Skoll recasting. And it is Rory McCain of The Hound, Game of Thrones. Dude. First of all, the looks. He has the look. I guess him and Ray Stevenson were very good friends, too, in real life.
Really?
So
Yeah.
that is cool for him to take over his friend's role. The Hound didn't have a ton of screen time in early Game of Thrones seasons, but he stole the show every time he was on there, and I think he's all one of our favorite characters. Like just the grittiness, the stoicism. Like he has some Baylan Skoll aspects to him, and I think he's just such a great actor. He could probably pull off mostly any role.
Dude, it's gonna be huge. Like, yeah, like you said, he stole the show. He was barely in it at the start, and by the end of it, in the final season, his story and his arc was one of the best arcs of the entire 8-season series of Game of Thrones, and he played it wonderfully. He plays the stoic and wise, but kind of pessimistic. Obviously, pretty damn well already. So matching with Baylan Skoll's, thoughts of the Jedi and Anakin and everything that happened and the way he's able to see it from a different perspective, I just feel like Rory is going to just blend right into this role. He's obviously a massive presence. I don't know how big he is compared to what Ray Stevenson was, but I know Ray Stevenson was pretty solid size too. He was 6'3", so I think this is just perfect. This is the best news I could have got for this. Rory's 6'6", so he's a bit bigger.
He's a big
but,
boy.
But this was welcome news, man. I'm stoked on it.
He is a cocaine. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
JD?
That's what I was gonna say. He's definitely gonna match the presence of Baylan Skoll. He's actually gonna exceed the presence, like as far as like a dominating Sith. So that he matches. I don't know if he will match like that stoic wisdom side of things. I don't think he'll be far off, but maybe that'll be slightly dialed down. But that presence as he's going through this crazy journey through these mountains of whoever the mother's sisters, aunts and uncles and nieces, the mountains over there, he's going to be going through some savage stuff, it looks like. So, we might not even see a lot of that wit where he's going as far as this crazy journey into the Force. So I couldn't even have thought of a better casting, though. Like when I'm considering who's going to be recast as this character, I never even considered this dude, but I also didn't consider anybody that is so satisfying. So I think he will do just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When yet again Rory facing off against another mountain.
Get off of those things.
Get off down there.
So yeah, I can't wait for Ahsoka season 2. I think we all definitely overall enjoyed it. There were some flaws in that show, but also some very high highs. Anakin, and saying Anakin's coming back, There are rumors that Ewan McGregor might be turning up in season 2, and then we also have young Ahsoka is rumored to come back too.
Yeah,
young Gamora, young
Ariana
Ahsoka.
Greenblatt.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah, the word is that Hayden could have a significant role in season 2, which my only thought is he just must be in the back of her head the whole time through every episode, talking to her, or just force ghosting it the whole season.
I hope not, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how else you make him unless we're just getting the only
Clone
other thing
Wars
is some people
flashbacks.
people were speculating that Obi-Wan won't be old Obi-Wan. It's going to be clone. Obviously, he's dead at this point, but yeah, it's going to be Clone Wars throwbacks with them wearing their armor with Ariana Greenblatt. Which, if we get that, I don't know how they're going to make Obi-Wan look like that young. I mean, we got CGI. They'll do it. But just to see those three together in live action would be the perfect step up from what we got in season 1.
Yeah.
I would hope it's a flashback. I'm not a huge fan of the Force Ghosts. They don't do a lot for me. So
yeah.
But the Clone Wars flashback in Ahsoka was really cool. I'd like to dive more into that.
I'll say the Force Ghosts are good when used well. Like
Yeah,
you get Kenobi in the original trilogy, and then Yoda in The Last Jedi.
Very true.
Are two very good uses of Force Ghosts. But then there's other times where it's like Qui-Gon Jinn at the end of Obi-Wan. Like that was kind of cool, but also kind of thrown in.
And they used the Anakin Force Ghost really well in season 1. So you know, even if they do just do Force Ghosts, at least if they keep it to that level, it'll be cool.
Right.
Straight up.
We do have one more bit of casting over in DC. Jason Momoa is Lobo, and he is turning up in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And I mean, I feel like he put this out on the internet like a few months ago, like saying, "Oh, I would love to play Lobo," and the character looks just like Jason Momoa. So he is one. You know, he was obviously Aquaman in the DCU, and now he is going to play Lobo in the DCEU. Oh no, excuse me, switch those around. DCEU first, now DCU.
There you go. Dude, I've never seen such a perfect match for a casting, like ever. Not only does he look the part, but his attitude and behavior and how he acts. It's like it's a match made in heaven. So that is really cool. That makes me excited for the Supergirl movie. It'll be really cool because it is this space journey through space. And so it's just cool. You see a lot of species. Lobo was not in the comic from what I remember, but it's a perfect place to put any really cool character. So you're going to build out some significant space characters and a really fun character. And Jason Momoa, like, it's perfect. He's covered up in paint. He's going to look completely opposite of Aquaman. So
That's cool.
I'm not worried about that.
What's kind of Lobo's background for the novice nerd, real quick? Like power set, kind of, who is he?
I don't know a ton. I know his species is Zarnian. He's from his planet. He's an alien, kind of like Krypton. He's like Superman level power and strength, but he has like, you know, even better than Wolverine's healing factor. You could blow his head off and he's growing a new head. So he rides around the cosmos on a freaking bike or whatever he is. Yeah, so he's just like a very metal character, very violent, very kind of has a Deadpool side of him.
Anti-hero, kind of?
Yeah, let's throw him in that one. That sounds right.
Not a full
he's just he also, like Wolverine, he's constantly smoking a cigar too. He actually has a lot of Wolverine qualities to him. But yeah, no, Jason Momoa talked about this, I think, when he first joined. I think he thought he was being cast as Lobo when they first called him in. He was like, "Oh, I'm obviously going to be Lobo. Like, look at me. It's my favorite character. It always has been." And then they said, "You're reading for Aquaman." He was like, "What? What the hell you mean Aquaman?"
It's a white dude.
So yeah, he's been waiting for this for years, and I think we kind of knew. I mean, he even had a comment. Yeah, like you said, I think it was a year or two ago even. He was like, "Well, you know, I might be popping up again as my favorite character in the DC universe." Like, yeah, it was meant to be. So it's cool they're making it happen. Of course, James Gunn would be the one to make this happen. But yeah, I don't see how they can botch this. It's not like there's a lot of weight riding on Lobo being introduced. Not a lot of people know him anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
And the ones that do will enjoy it probably. So yeah,
Get some of the ladies to the theaters.
I think he'll become a household name after this. I think it'll be one of those characters. You know, it's like a Deadpool in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. You know,
Right. Yeah. Give him his own series.
Yeah, it would have to be rated R too.
Yeah. Oh, it will be because he's violent. He's insanely violent, if I recall correctly.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
All right,
Almost
we
as
have.
crazy as Lub. Sorry.
Let's move on. We have one more bit of casting before we move on to other pieces of news. Cynthia Erivo, who is Alphaba in Wicked, the Green Witch, says her dream role is to play Storm in the MCU. So I think she'd be a pretty solid casting. She obviously has the look. And I mean, she killed it in Wicked. I feel like she's really going to start blowing up now. So I could see it. What do you guys think?
I'm just excited for Storm. I don't know much about this actress, but if Storm's on the table in the MCU soon, that's the exciting part.
Yes,
And I
Dave?
trust you. You said she's good in Wicked, so I trust you. But Storm, baby, let's go.
I suppose she does have the look. I think I'm down for it. I've never seen her in anything, but yeah, I heard good responses from Wicked and whatnot. And she's 38, so fits the age role there, depending on where they go with Storm. Yeah, have you seen her in anything before Wicked?
I can't remember if she was in.
She was a voice role in Visions, Star Wars Visions. Look at that.
Oh, how about that?
Oh, well, I will say if the rumors of the Jean Grey casting are true, then the Storm casting stuff probably won't happen because Jean Grey, Sadie Sink, right, from Stranger Things is like 21 or something like that.
True.
So they'd be going with a younger X-Men.
Which, by the way, I know she's a ginger and whatnot. I don't think I want Sadie Sink as Jean Grey.
I don't know. I think I could see it actually. But
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything outside of Stranger Things. She's grown.
Same.
She's a lot older now.
But the Storm
True.
is always one of the older X-Men compared to Jean Grey. You know, she's one of the elders, and Jean Grey's kind of up and coming. They've done that
Kind
before.
of.
Depends
Kind
on
of.
the depiction, what
Right.
story and whatnot. Sometimes she's
yeah.
one of in the movies X-Men Apocalypse, she was like a teenager when they got brought in. I
That's
think she was
true.
younger than Jean Grey. So it all depends. But
Oh, she was Harriet. I haven't seen that movie, but she was Harriet Tubman.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but you're right. They could do anything with the age, so I guess that's not really a lot to go on.
Yeah, it depends, but hey, throw it out there. See if you can get a MCU role. You might as well say that.
All right, so it looks like the cast for Doomsday is continuing to grow, and now Daredevil has been confirmed for the movie. So, JD, how do you think he fits into this movie?
Man, that's the weird part. But exciting part is thinking of all the Russo brother MCU movies and how good they were, and then adding a character like Daredevil to that kind of quality Avenger movie. So I'm sure they're gonna have a place for him. He just seems so grounded compared to a multiversal threat. So that's the only thing where it's like, okay, where do you really fit? Like, what is Hawkeye gonna do in Black Widow? What is someone like Daredevil actually gonna do in something like this? Which hopefully they have something cool in mind. He can do some kind of tactical, stealth stuff and go get some kind of item that helps him win the day. But the Russo brothers with Matt Murdock, with Daredevil, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, I think that just sounds freaking awesome. So that's good news.
Yeah, I'll stop you. I have no idea where he could fit into this.
Right.
You always need a
Like,
Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the lights go out and they're like, "Get us out of here, Daredevil." I don't know.
If they lose their night vision.
Is there an earthquake coming anytime soon? Let us know. Feel the ground, Matt.
Yeah, someone makes a snarky joke about how do you do this all the time?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. This could be totally, well, it is because Doomsday is obviously going to be before Secret Wars. I just saw this article, not this article, this panel of a story with Superior Iron Man, and he like creates this thing that gives Matt Murdock sight. And it's only temporary, but like he gifts him the gift of sight, and Matt's freaking out, and Tony's kind of already done some insanely sketchy genocidal kind of moves, and so he doesn't trust him at all. But so it kind of, I don't know why when I think of Secret Wars and all that, my brain kind of thinks of the Superior Iron Man. I don't think they're related. I think it's strictly because of the rumors that have been coming out in the MCU and Tom Hanks Superior Iron Man and all that stuff. But I don't think any of that
Tom
connects
Cruise.
to your question. So
I could see I could see Doctor Strange giving Daredevil, because Doctor Strange kind of is that on the edge character where people don't trust him. He's causing, he can cause all these incursions in the other universe. They had to take him out. So maybe he gives Daredevil some power or some sight like Iron Man did.
Yeah.
What I would need something to connect, like maybe Kingpin is in bed with some villain connected with Doctor Doom or some larger thing. Because Kingpin, like with all of his resources, he like raises pretty high in the power scaling of villains just because of his power and influence. So he could be like in bed with someone, and that kind of attaches the Daredevil universe side of things. But yeah, like what the hell are you gonna do against Doctor Doom and incursions and stuff?
Well, and it's just hard to guess because we really don't know the plot of Doomsday at all. Like, we know Doctor Doom is coming to the picture, and we know Secret Wars is going to follow, but other than that, do we really have any earthly idea of what the story is really going to be? And what the...
Right.
I have no idea what to expect story-wise for Doomsday other than Doom showing up. So, yeah, it's hard to say how he'll play into this, but it's dope. I'm here for any more Daredevil we can get.
Well, and they do have a big grounded story brewing with Thunderbolts and Captain America and, maybe Shang-Chi. So he could have, there's something the grounded level heroes are going to be doing in Doomsday. Otherwise, they wouldn't be introducing Thunderbolts right now and doing all these other movies.
That's true.
Yeah. I trust them. We'll see.
Yeah, Russo brothers with Charlie Cox Daredevil, though. That's exciting. Think of Winter Soldier. Think of Daredevil and the Winter Soldier.
Exactly where my brain
movie.
went.
That's
where
crazy.
my brain. That'd be dope.
All right, we do have a spoiler alert for Creatures Commandos, but it's been a few weeks now, right, JD? When was the finale?
I think it was this week.
2024.
This Thursday.
Really?
Yeah.
What, the release date for Creature Commandos?
No,
I
the
thought
finale.
it was like.
Yeah, the
Oh,
finale.
I was like, it was definitely like in last month, I thought.
But it's been all over the internet. Even it popped up for me, and I think it's okay to talk about. The Batman was spotted at the end, kind of standing very ominously at the top of the building.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. I
and-
didn't even hear that. All right.
Official DCU Batman. Here
Right.
he is.
Because everything ties together, animated and live action, correct? So
Yeah.
obviously he didn't speak, but this was our first shot of the
Just a
DCU.
silhouette.
Yeah, right.
Like the kind of Easter eggs I'm just really excited about with this first chapter. These first few movies
Yeah.
should have a lot of these fun things.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more opportunity for wild Easter eggs like that than there was in phase one. I mean, phase one, obviously there was too, but there's going to be so much more already established characters you
Yeah.
can like tease and hint at and stuff.
All their
where it would make
robes.
sense.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's endless, but I still have yet to start Creature Commandos. I got caught up in a bunch of other shows, but I still am, and I'm looking forward to starting it up.
I
here
think
soon.
you'll like
think
it.
It's gonna be good.
I haven't
Yeah,
watched
It was better
I'm a
than I
big animated
expected.
guy. Yeah, nice. That's
I-
good to
I
hear.
w-
Lub, how far did you get?
I haven't started it.
Oh, okay. What were you saying, JD?
Well, I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't that excited. I was interested because it's the first DCU thing, so I put it on, but really liked it. So it was way better than I expected. It is very
Oh, yeah.
James Gunny. It's very much Suicide Squad-y, but the story itself is nothing like any Suicide Squad movie we've seen. It is a very, very different story, and they do a really good job making you care for each and every single character. They kind of have the main story throughout the season, and then each episode, starting at episode 2 or 3, has the backdrop of a certain character's story. So you kind of get to know them and how they got to where they are now, plus the main stories going on. But it's really good. It's emotional. It's violent. There is actually a really emotional episode revolving around the rodent character. What's his name?
Weasel.
Weasel. Probably the best episode, I think, and really sad
Wow.
and a really good episode
Actually
that also
doesn't surprise me.
included. It also included a lot of Amazonian lore. We're going kind of spoilery here, not a big spoiler, but
That's fine.
that Weasel episode had some really cool Amazonian lore that might have talked about Cersei. She seems like a potential, like involved in the big bad of the DCU situation. The way she played out in this Creatures Commando story. And Grodd was hinted, which that would be very interesting to see.
Nice. Well, so, clear this up for me. We get a Batman tease, you said. I thought that this was taking place during like World War II era.
Yeah,
or
that's not
something
a
like
thing
that.
anymore. It's present day.
It's all present day.
Yeah.
That was early reports though, right? I could have sworn 'cause I
Yeah.
was like, I don't care about monsters fighting in World War II that much.
Those were
but,
reports, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well then. Oh, and I'm seeing a picture of another character I really like on an article titled "Every Easter Egg and Cameo." So I'll let that one. Won't open that. I'm gonna watch it soon though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but I mean, I guess that Batman character, Love, you saw, right? He looked pretty stocky. I wonder if that's the kind of style Batman they're going for, which would
Look
be
thick.
contrast well to the Robert Pattinson kind of lean Batman.
Yeah. Now get that
So-
thick boy in here.
And I guess I don't know. There's a lot of drama with the Batman, like Batman 2 being delayed. Then people are like, "Is Brave and the Bold
Right.
going to be delayed?" He recently said, "No, it's not going to be delayed." But it's like I'm almost feeling like we're going to get Brave and the Bold like a year after the Batman 2.
Or even
I'm starting to feel
before
like
it.
we're gonna get it a year before it. Yeah, I was
Right.
gonna say at this point, bro, we're at the end of 2027 with the Batman 2. I still can't believe that. That shook me. That's ridiculous. All right, somebody pull me out. I'm going down a deep path.
All right, we have one last piece of news before we get into our final segment. Happy Gilmore 2 trailer released at the short little one released on YouTube for obviously it's coming out on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. This is a Netflix
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So JD, what do you think about this? Well, how do you feel about the first movie as well?
Happy Gilmore 1 is one of the most special movies to me, period. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see this, but man, the trailer, it's like, I don't know, it looks like it could be good. It just looks like how it feels, like how it looks like it's old. So they're all going to be old. I feel like it's going to feel old, and there's no way it's going to capture the magic of the first one. You know, you hope they could reach like 70% would be max, and we're probably looking at more like a 40 to 50% good, but I just don't see it really even approaching the magic of Happy Gilmore. But I'm still super excited to see it just because it's Happy Gilmore too. Yeah.
It's funny, how much money did Netflix give Adam Sandler to just do whatever the hell he wants?
Dude, he's put out so many, and I love Adam Sandler. He has put out some of the worst movies I've
Yeah.
seen, just back to back on Netflix, and they just keep pushing millions. I swear, it's a tax write-off or there's laundering going on. I don't get it, but they just keep paying millions for these awful comedies to be made.
It
was like,
feels
oh.
weird. There's so many of them,
Right.
and they're all so
Yeah.
bad.
It was like, okay, Uncut Gems is really good, so let's, give him whatever he wants.
Dude, what is it? How many? What's that detective thing he has with Jennifer Aniston? He's got like 3 of those on Netflix alone. Just so many ridiculous things he has on Netflix. But yeah, Happy Gilmore, Sam, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just awesome. Shooter McGavin, the Happy Gilmore swing, bro. I mean, Chubbs, which sucks. He's not going to be in this. Well, maybe. No, he died
CGI?
in the first one. No, well,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
we're
mean that
both
about
doing-
Carl Weathers, by the way. The character died in the first movie. Unfortunately, Carl
Yeah.
Weathers also did recently. But yeah, I mean, I feel better about it than every other 20-year later sequel that I've felt. I didn't watch Zoolander 2, Dumb and Dumber 2. I didn't really watch. And I love the originals for both those. So I don't have high expectations, but I am going to watch it just because Adam Sandler and Christopher McDonald are both coming back. Shooter McGavin. Virginia Bennett is going to be back. And it looks like in that little... I didn't even see that trailer till you mentioned it, so I just watched it on mute. It looks like Happy and Virginia ended up together at the end of the first
Wow.
movie, so that's nice to see. I saw Travis Kelce in the 40-second clip, so that kind of pissed me off already. But...
Of course he's in it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll do fine. I'm sure a lot of people will watch it. Netflix will brag about opening day streams or whatever, but I don't have a lot of expectations for it.
Right.
I hope out of the 100 movies he's made in the last like year or two, he took special care of this one. It'd be nice to see something good
Right. You don't need another paycheck.
with that title.
So he had, and I will say he has had some good. And Uncut Gems, he was great. I didn't know he even had that type of acting behind him in his bag. So, and he's had a couple serious movies that were good too. But in the chat we got Ben. Shout out Ben, one of our returning guests for the Dune episodes. You've probably heard him on. I forgot what the first stuff we did with him. Sorry.
Game of Thrones.
Game of
House
Thrones.
of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Damn it. Anyways, he said in the chat, Hustle was good, which I did hear good things about that. He's a scout in a basketball. I don't know if it's for the NBA. I think he was an NBA scout, but he's a basketball scout going around. I did hear some good things about that, but I haven't seen it yet. But that's another Netflix Adam Sandler movie he's released in the last few years.
I like some of the serious Adam Sandler, funny people. It's just the weird ones are like he plays these really goofy characters that are absolutely just not funny, but they're strange, goofy.
It's the voice he does that like.
Yeah, he does that all the time.
Yeah, that weird voice. The Hubie Halloween. You know that movie. I never saw it, but it looked awful.
Hubie Halloween.
That's one of his Netflix movies.
Good God.
Yeah, the water boy voice. All right, let's wrap it up with some what have you been watching, playing, reading lately? Any of the three? So Dave, you watched anything lately?
Yeah, man, been watching a lot of stuff. I finished Outer Range season 2. We talked about that on a previous episode. Greg informed me that it was canceled. So that sucked because season 2 was better than season 1. It was really freaking good, and it ended with something I was like, oh God, let's get to season 3. And it's not going to happen. So I was watching Outer Range. Landman is another one. So the finale just dropped yesterday. I still got to watch it, but really good. Another Taylor Sheridan series with Billy Bob Thornton as kind of a guy doing the day-to-day on-the-ground kind of stuff in oil fields out in Texas. And it was really good the first few episodes. Got a little soap opera-y as Taylor Sheridan does. A few, like in episodes 7 and 8 there. But still really good. I'm really excited for the finale. So that was a solid series. Started up Mayor of Kingstown too. So like I've said, I've just been cooking through other shows that hasn't been Creature Commandos and whatnot. Really good start too. I'm really stoked to keep watching Mayor of Kingstown.
Jeremy Renner.
So yeah, I've been watching a lot. Yep, Jeremy Renner. No, I'm not going to say the other cast name because there's stuff that happens. But it's another Taylor Sheridan series. And it's solid. It's like in a prison town. Jeremy Renner's brother's the mayor. He's kind of the low-key mayor. His other brother is a police officer, and it's just a crazy, sketchy town. Kind of feels like Sons of Anarchy in a lot of ways so far. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of stuff that I've been really enjoying lately. And then I just want to say, I don't want to get into it a lot. I talked about Jedi Survivor a lot the last time we talked about it. I beat it, and I just want to say the ending was super unsatisfying. It was one of my favorite games I've played in years, but I thought the final ending mission was like one of the least satisfying ending missions in a video game in a while.
You wanted to go full dark side?
Not only that, I mean, spoiler alerts, I'm not going to say names or anything, but you kill the final guy with a blaster. Like, what are we doing, bro? Let me cut him down with a lightsaber. We're going to use a blaster? I don't know. So I just thought the ending was kind of weak, but the rest of it was hell fun, though. I still enjoyed it a lot.
Right. JD, you got anything? I know you're moving right now, so maybe not watching too much stuff.
Yeah, man, I still doing some stuff and some things. Sons of Anarchy, we're on the end of season 3.
Dude, so glad you're rewatching that.
I know, I'm having a lot of fun. I want this dude to play Green Arrow really bad, Charlie Hunnam.
Oh,
that'd be so sick. They went with the dark Daredevil type of Green Arrow. Yeah. Anyway, Sons of Anarchy is, dude, it feels slower. Like I know when the crazy stuff happened, it hits harder than like anything, but it feels slower throughout. Like season 3 specifically is like my least favorite. It's when the Irish are in town. The kid gets taken to, he gets all the way to Ireland. God, doesn't he get all the way to the UK?
Oh my God. Yeah, no, he goes to Ireland.
Yeah. So I don't love season 3, but I know it ends like crazy. And so I'm looking forward to that. And it gets, love Sons of Anarchy, but rewatching it's fun. And then Squid Games season 2, liking it. Love, you've been watching it.
Finished it, yeah.
Oh, really? What's your thoughts overall now that you finished it?
It's not as good as season 1, but it's still very good. It made my top 5 series of 2024.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's just fun to be back in Squid Games. I'm surprised the kind of route they took as far as the story goes.
How many episodes have you watched?
I think I'm on episode 5 or something.
Okay.
They're on
so
my
the game started.
Yeah. the games are changing up. It was
Right.
I loved the first game again, how they kind of subverted expectations.
Right, because
That was
he's going back for the second time, so he knows
yeah.
what's going on. You know.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Uh, reading and if you're from TikTok, I've been big changes in life, so just stay tuned. We'll post more soon.
Hey.
But reading Jonathan Hickman, dude, I'm surprised I haven't read his X-Men stuff. He's got a whole era of X-Men that's like post Secret Wars.
Okay.
And I'm just getting into that. So it's the Krakoa era. A lot of crazy stuff going on with that. And it's Jonathan Hickman. He's one of the best writers. He's one of the most like captivating writers, easy to pick up the book and start reading because just the writing just really draws you into the story. And it's X-Men, so a lot of good stuff there too. So yeah.
Nice. I got a couple things myself. I watched Carry On, JD. It was entertaining. It wasn't like the best movie ever, but it was a fun ride. There was a couple good twists.
Yeah.
Things were slightly convenient a couple times for Jason Bateman. He had things like really planned out well, and I couldn't buy him as a villain at first, but then he kind of grew on me. He kind of grew on me as the movie went on. Yeah, he's the villain of the movie. So it was kind of
exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing with Jason Bateman, but by the end of it, I'd fucking love that guy. And then by the end of it, he did feel like the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen Jason Bateman play a cross-dressing sleazebag lawyer in Smoking Aces, I think it was, and other few random roles where I've just been like, okay, this fool can hit a lot of ranges. Like he can blend into a lot of roles pretty well. Like he's Cotton in Dodgeball, which obviously is not a deep role, but he just has so many like distinct random roles all over the place. But that's a villain. I have not seen him as that yet.
Yeah, it's a fun ride. And I watched a Heretic. It's a A24 movie that came out, I think, last year. It's like the most recent one. It's actually pretty good. It's where the two Mormon girls. Grant? Yeah, Hugh Grant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they show up to his house to spread the word of God. And it goes deep into religion. Like he really kind of spits some facts about the history and kind of the repetition of some things, and it was a very insightful. It really makes you think, and then it's also creepy at the same time. So I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
Nice. He was creepy as hell in the trailers. I've never seen Hugh Grant like that before either. Yeah, well, they kept slight spoiler. They kept asking we need to have your wife in the room, and he's like, oh yeah, she's in the other room, making pie, she'll be in soon. And then he kept talking to him, and 50 minutes go by, and they're like, can you go get your wife, please? And he's like, oh, yeah, my bad. But, obviously, things turned for the worst. I'm assuming she's not back there living.
She's not back there. And then when it comes to playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Hey. So, dude, I put in 30 hours already in
okay,
a month probably. I only played on the weekends, but almost all day on the weekend. You can't put it down. It's just so immersive. And it's nothing really over the top Ghost of Tsushima we talk about a lot. The fight style in that and the sword play in that is unmatched. But it's very similar to Grand Theft Auto, where you just you shoot the guns, you stab people, but it's all about the characters and the story. There's this whole cast of characters. You and your band of misfits go into a town, try to say, oh, we're gonna lay low this time, and then a couple weeks later, it's all right, we caused way too much drama. We got to get out of here and move on to the next one. So I'm having a lot of fun. It's definitely worth the hype. I get why people say it's their favorite game of all time. It's just the voice inside my head has a southern accent after playing that game. You know what I mean?
Bro. Speaking of which, I want to play that very soon here too. And you saying that right there just definitely. Sorry, Mac. I might start Red Dead 2 before The Witcher 3 now.
Oh, no. Well, I played both. I'd say...
Yeah, which one has been more fun through and through? Because I feel like The Witcher has a lot of stuff going, but you need to be locked in. And I feel like Red Dead, you can have a lot more variety of fun and be a little more loose with it.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to get the hang of it. The Witcher with all the potions and the different, you have to put a different potion on your sword for different types of monsters you fight and all this stuff. But the Red Dead, you do start in the mountains in the snow, So the first couple hours are like kind of a slight, trudge to get through, but it sets up the
Right.
characters where you're starting to learn about different members of the crew and stuff. So it makes
Nice,
sense. But
alright.
yeah, once you get out of the snow, get out of the mountains, it's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say though, you said your inner voice is talking with a southern accent now, and so watching Landman, Yellowstone 2, which we're finishing up season 5. I forgot to mention that. But also we started Ted Lasso recently, which I totally forgot to mention too. We started that a couple weeks ago. Really good so far, but Jason Sudeikis' accent is insanely over the top southern. So between Ted Lasso, Landman, and Yellowstone, I swear I'm almost talking with a southern drawl too. Like it's just sticking in my head now. It's ridiculous.
Calling everyone boy.
Oh, how are you doing there now, boy?
Louis, get over here, boy. Go on now and eat your dinner.
Louis, I'll tell you what.
Go on and take a pee now. Come on back, it gets cold.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this edition of Week in Geek.
Keep going.
Any more southern?
Let's
quotes?
get on out of here. Come on now.
It's
Hurry
turpin-
up now,
it's-
love.
It's turpin time.
We're going to wrap it up now.
Thank you for joining us on YouTube, in the chats. Ben, Victor, where you at? We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening on Spotify and Apple. Thank you. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Thank you. So, I'm forgetting. Now I got to make this switch real quick to the boom bang and the bangers.
I feel like I'm adjusting to a new plane of consciousness. This feels good. Oh.
Sounds fun.
No, but yeah, actually with the military. I'm not in the military anymore.
Oh.
So it's just like, and also that because I'm not in the military too.